So load up roll and make a roll to take control. Weed&d. Oh, what is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the hot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClenahan. But my buds call me Bam. Oh, it's so good to be back. We got the whole gang in studio. Oh shoot. Shout out to our early buds. I see Ron Ninjaro. I see Grim Wilder. I see Hufflepuff Chipmunk with my eyes. We got a first time woman in Stony Hippo. So good to see those lighters and chats, bud.
Stony Hippo.
Guys, it's great to see you. It has been some weeks. So wonderful to have everybody back together. Obviously, we've been on a little bit of a down arc not down arc, but the main storyline has not been the focus for the last few weeks. We've had some hangouts. We've played some board games, played some video games. If you missed any of that stuff, check it out. Going over to YouTube, youtube.com/arthardstudios. We've got it all thrown up there and it's all fun. Mad, man, Irish, man. Yeah.
The two sessions with 5-minute dungeons.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Play with everybody.
Yes.
I also,
really there's an element to that game that I want to be introducing to our game, actually. So we will speak of that a little bit later as well.
I like that.
Welcome in, Sloaney. Good to see you, Madman Irishman. We see you in the house. Guys, it's just good to have a WeeDnD back together. So we have, I've been working behind the scenes a little bit, trying to figure out, keep pushing this project, keep rolling it into something that's more and more fun for everybody involved. Some of those elements you'll see here tonight. What's up, Shadows? Gino Fox, thanks for the sub. Some of those things we'll talk through tonight. We are going to be session zeroing for this next chapter. And so again, we like to showcase some of the behind the scenes stuff that you would do if you were playing at home. So session zero is an awesome way to kind of get everybody on board to know what the next campaign is going to be and how you're going to play in it, what your primary goals are, some of the big things that you'll see. So with that, I'm going to open up the floor to our returning cast members just to realign yourself with everybody. And I'm going to ask first, my dear friend Nicole. How you doing, Nicole?
Hey, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm Nicole Unger. Hey, everyone. I was playing Shaymira, the changeling rogue who at one point lost her powers and then got them all back.
Got 'em back.
And I'm excited to see who I get to play next because Shay went on another adventure. We'll revisit her later. Yeah.
We did a twosie with Shay.
We did.
Yeah.
She is off to visit, I think your character, right? She went to go,
That's it. Amaryllis.
Amaryllis, yeah. We'll see what happens there.
shucks.
What about you, Jake? How you doing?
Oh, I'm awesome, Nicole. Thank you so much. And thanks all of you guys. I was just like beaming ever since I got here. Some of the best people in the entire world, and it's nice to have them all in one room.
We're all together.
Amen.
Nice.
And you buds too. You're a part of this, damn it. Like,
buds.
you're
You
part
are
of this
here.
table, and we're just so glad to have you.
This is us rapping. Guys, I'll give you one of these. Oh, God, buds. Is it one?
No.
Sorry, thank you guys.
It's just the cute. It's the cute aggression. It's just like I just love you.
I love you
You're so cute, I want to bite you.
I previously portrayed Riel Arthurvan, Gary Greenheart,
Gary.
Zymok, I've Cloud the Inquisitor, or Mark, and most recently Rex Milo of War.
Riel Arthurvan, bro, made an appearance.
Yes. And Riel came back,
Yeah.
and then we sent him off. Sent off a legacy character,
Aww.
which is an interesting feeling. There's a lot of cool feelings at this table, and it's a fun game. And
Hell yeah.
play with cool friends, like my cool friend, Drew.
10-4, good buddy. Hey, what's up, buds? It's Drew. Big Pop in the house. Anyway, I'm super stoked to be back with the buds. I previously played Thoricus Onyxheart and Tenaricus Onyxheart, who done lost his head in this last episode. Or season or whatever. Yeah, I guess it was last episode. Brutal. Yeah.
Brutal, man.
And also Lucien Lamore and Digby Mole Eggington, the third. Yeah, so those are the
got called out
characters.
for spoilers.
What?
You got called out for spoilers.
What are you talking about?
Grim said, that's a spoiler, bro.
Hey, if you haven't watched it yet, just forget about it.
Yeah.
No, shit was crazy. He lost his head over it.
He's
He was like, I don't know.
I can't believe
It's
that.
Please
That
get
lost his
attached
head.
to that character when you go back and revisit
Definitely.
the episodes. Because nothing bad happens to
Ain't nothing gonna bad happen
Go ahead
to
and get
you.
attached.
Never.
Super excited. Love that everyone's here. I love seeing all your beautiful faces and all of you here joining us. On the interwebs, thank you so much. Passing it on to my wonderful friend, Brenna.
That's me. Hi, buds. I'm Brenna Folger, but you guys know me as Brunor. This is Serpent. This is Serpent slaying Serpent. You also know me as Piquels en Oui, who did a Tuesday as well.
Mhm.
And then you also know me as Gil.
Oh, this is Gil.
Don't let me just Gil.
Gil, the horrible
Gil
war
around.
criminal.
Girls on weed.
Yeah, Piquels.
Piquels.
So yeah, you guys know me around the bend. Thanks for coming in, and I'm really excited to get started on our next stuff. Like Bam knows, I've been like, hey, are we gonna do anything? Because I love that part of this very much.
Yes,
like
yes.
I love that I get to hang out with the buds, and also I love when we get into like the storytelling element, because that's I love the suspension of disbelief that we get in like being able to take the break from our everyday lives to be somebody else and just do something else.
Amen.
So
Yep.
play in a world where it's all safe and we're with a group of safe people. So
Preach.
I'm like, what do we play?
Wait. Let's play.
I roll these. We go.
We roll dice, we tell a story.
Also, that's just like that's the thing in D&D. Like suddenly you're like, so like, what's up? Like, when are we gonna be playing? What's up with D&D? When are we playing D&D?
So,
So I'm glad I've instilled that in you guys as well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm
So we're gonna.
very excited. I'm excited to see what we all are going to be this next session.
Yeah.
How's it going, Miss Abs?
Yeah, it's going good. Hey, howdy, hey, buds. Abby Dandy. But I might be a little bit better known as Tina Smooth Hands. Ooh, too blessed to be stressed. Or Amaryllis Von Shucks. No. Or Sylvia Starshield as well.
No, Sheila.
Not Sheila. Not Sheila Starshield. Because no.
Sorry about that.
Next
but yeah,
Sheila.
next one, Sheila. Okay.
Oh, God. I'm like, all right, Sheila.
Oh God.
What do you do?
Oh God. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm excited to create a completely new character and sink my teeth into this new setting and just play with my friends. You know. Yeah. What about you, Bam?
Man, I am freaking great. You know me as Bam, the DM, and also the DM, and he's been the DM, and I've DM'd, and you've seen me as the DM. I think this chapter I'm going to keep it rolling with the DM.
Sweet.
Sick. Nice.
Good
choice. Yeah.
I am the luckiest person in the world that gets to play D&D with you guys, and I'm so glad that we are getting back into this game. There's kind of a cool thing that's happened, both for me as a creator, and with this group, where it's like there's like such a trust that there's a weird thing in DMing and playing where it's like there's all this DM prep that's separate from the players, and all that stuff is done. We've got the groundworks, but I find running the game alongside you guys is how it feels now, where it's like I'm kind of like I'm ready with the world to respond to you, but it's largely driven by your actions. In that way, we're going to session 0 today. Where there might be some unconventional elements in it, only because I want to continue to test what this type of game running is and see if we can't find ways to support it throughout. And a session 0 is a great way to start. So it's dope. Honestly, there's like a thing, it's the legacy of the show, we've done this for freaking 4 years, and 4.5. And so it's dope to continuously thread from those seeds. But I think we have a nice opportunity here to also start like a people in the world that's been affected by you guys that aren't directly tied to the helping committee. Now the helping committee obviously will arrive in whatever way it will through your actions. But it's kind of a nice chance for us to like start kind of a new group, like without the considerations and needs of the continuing narrative. So we're going into the Diesel Dynasty this year, which is one of my favorites from way back. This has seeds all the way back to the Everendell campaign in the prologue. Some of the storytelling elements that were like rooted in where everything that happened came from this group. So we'll get like a little bit of the world history of the world where you guys all came from originally and how it's like survived in this realm now. It is like a steampunk almost campaign in the sense of like Warforged are a thing. The Steelborn that we created for the prologue are now the Warforged as kind of traditional in the D&D canon. Living spirits embodied in this like magical mechanical shell.
Ghosts?
So yeah, I'm really excited. Honestly, having you guys here means the world. Huge thanks to all the buds and everything that reached out. Obviously, there were some kind of heavy stuff on the personal side of all these things. And it's funny how it always just kind of sends me back to this thing. Like luckily for me, I get to do a thing that's like very good for me and has the benefits to others in some way. And so I'm glad that we've been there for you guys, and you've certainly been there for me. So thank you. Thanks to all my wonderful friends at the table and the whole community at large for all the reaching out. Things are progressing on that vein, but just seriously, thanks for all the support of all this stuff. So, and we're going to do lighters up to a longtime bud of the show, my brother Pork Chop, who was with us right at the very beginning and has been the recent recipient of some of this BAM Bud love. We love you, Greg. So I will be kind of pushing on the launch of this new season in a little bit of a different way. So I'll be sending out some stuff in the sense of how you can help us kind of recircle the horses around the project and continue pushing on it.
Horses?
Oh.
We're also going to do this as a traditional session 0. So I'll kind of walk through the steps of what it is that we're going to do. We'll talk about safety mechanics and stuff. We've implemented a new one at the table. But this is all stuff like to help anybody who's playing at home. This is even when you're streaming a game, this is pretty much how it starts.
We'll also talk about the new rules.
We'll also be talking about the new rules. Thank you, Brenna.
Because them's the rules.
Specifically, more of the rules at large. There's like for newer players, some of these guys, this is the first rule set they've learned. There's this fear of like, oh my God, there's going to be all these new rules. What's nice in 5.5 is it's take what you like and get rid of the rest. I find a lot of the rules not to be new rules, but rather clarifications and cleanups of kind of rules that didn't operate the way they should before.
I need to know what rules I'm going to be breaking.
Exactly.
Right. Gotta learn them so we can
Then
break
go, man. Learn the rules learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like a master.
We just played, speaking of D&D, crazy, right? We just played D&D for a 24-hour stream for Extra Life at Tony Blue 87.
Yeah.
Tony he coordinates Extra Life, which is like a 24-hour stream, and it benefits any local charity that you can choose. So ours is St. Rose Dominican Hospitals that are out here in Vegas. So he streamed for 24 hours. I was there. Nicole came like twice. And then like we did D&D, and Max, our friend Max, who did our live show, if you guys remember seeing like clips of our live show, we gotta release that. But like Max was the DM, and so it was very funny playing with a DM that is less loosey goosey with like the rules and stuff. It was really fun playing with somebody that like kind of like we'd ask a question, is there a way for me to like do something, like do this? And he's like,
No.
how do you want to do it? Yeah, like you
Probably
need to tell
not.
me how.
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah. So it, was like, it made me like, I love knowing that, like that, like, and it wasn't hard to like jump in and play, but it just also makes me like really excited to get weird, like to find a place to be weird, you know? Knowing that isn't the standard.
And that's
like,
it too. It was actually as players, like there's as your DM, it's a very proud moment when you guys didn't then take whatever we do here and force it into other games. Like there's a million ways to play D&D. They're all a lot of fun. Find yourself at each table in each group and like really lean into the things that are fun at those tables.
You did a great job.
But it was honestly the best. It's selfishly the best part for me. I got to play with you guys. Like I got to actually be a player with you, and that was so much fun.
He sat like we were at like a higher table, and he sat on a chair because he was a dwarf.
Little gnome.
He was a gnome, so he sat at the table. So he was like right here.
Little gnome pyro who ended up shooting too. Yeah, it was Specs Whizzle Thwip.
Whizzle.
Yeah,
That's good.
God, gnomes, you just get to come up with great last names. That's one of the best parts of them.
So yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, that was super awesome, and we'll definitely be a part of that. Moving forward. It also kind of showed how how a thrown together one shot can have like benefits. So it's like we have times here where all of us are performers, entertainers, just have full, complete lives beyond this 8 p.m. time slot. I think far more than kind of going off of D&D centric stuff for down weeks. Running one shots in the world, this is a chance to expound all kinds of different characters, side stuff. It showed how kind of quickly you can put something like that together. So huge shout out. Thanks for that sub there, buddy. That's Honey the Bougie.
Yeah, it was really good. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun on the stream, and it's cool. Nicole and Amanda and I played spooky games for our morning murders block. It was really fun. We played Home Zero. I think it's on Steam, but it was fun. It's kind of like you have to report anomalies. Like you're in your apartment with your mom,
your child,
yeah, and you just have to like look through your things in your house, and if there's any anomalies, you have to leave the house. But if there's no anomalies, you get to go to bed.
Oh, just go to bed. It's fine.
I know, right?
No anomalies here.
There was a couple. I cannot wait to see some of the clips of it, like this. And Nicole scared the shit out of me. Like when she screamed, I was like, "Whoa!"
I was so jumpy.
Someone else.
Yeah.
The scream of the actual game scare.
Because it takes what is being a 2D experience to being a 3D experience. And you're like, "Oh!"
Oh no!
It was great though.
Every time something weird would happen, I hit Brenna like, "Go, get out of there! Go,
Please now. And then you're freaking out because you're getting hit.
And you have to like do 10 days, and we got really far.
We did
and then,
8 or something.
Yeah,
right?
we got to 8, and then we were like, "Well, I want to start over." Next game, like it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
8 days was enough.
Mm-hmm.
We did good.
Yeah.
Trash didn't count.
We didn't do great on our one shot. The dice
Oh my God.
slaughtered us.
3 ones. 2 of them were in a row.
It was-
Stephanie rolled a bunch of ones too, right?
Yeah.
It was incredible.
That reminds me of rolling. Nicole, I got dice in Tokyo for everybody, and you're the last one to.
bag.
So you have to choose from this bag.
Oh, nice.
I got it.
That was dope. That's a deck
Choose
save
from the
right there. That was in real time.
Because everyone else did theirs, right?
Some of them are spiders.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah, one's big.
This one. Oh, they're cute.
Yay!
Thank
Like
you.
pearlescent.
You're welcome. And
I
then this
love
last one's
it.
for Stephanie, and they look
Aw,
like
Spiders.
the spiders.
You get spiders.
Stephanie. Yay!
Yay, spiders!
So cheating.
And Stephanie's now covered in spiders.
I'm actually terrified of
Yeah,
spiders.
they're the worst.
They are very
the worst.
scary. I like them from distance. These are so. I know they're a little like shades. They're cute. I love them.
And nobody got the spiders.
I love.
No one got the
Impressive.
I actually sat back down and I was just covered
Just
in
covered.
You come back as a spider.
Spiders on you.
Yeah, it's
Spiders on
spiders on my
Fool
face.
me once. Spiders on me.
Spiders on me.
Fool me twice. Spiders on me.
Spiders still
Spiders
are.
on
I'm still covered in spiders. Stop fooling me. All right, guys. Honestly, it's so good to be back and see y'all. I'm really looking forward to this campaign because those of you that this is like early D&D, the jump from going to like, there's like horse-drawn carriages and stuff to like steampunky elements is always a really fun one. So there will be like firearms and mechanical vehicles and power armor suits and some
Less
cool.
animals.
Yeah, less animals.
Oh, good.
Yeah, your work has already been done.
Robo
And,
cybernetic horses.
yeah,
They're safe for us.
they're just losing oil.
Dang it! The curse follows all my characters.
Less animals, they can all talk, and 90% of them are drowning.
They're already sick.
Ah.
All right, dudes. Well, we do have us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't. We like to take a lighter, like this awful gas station one that I have right now.
Oh, this one
I
actually
hate.
says terrible on it.
I actually hate this.
Terrible.
Make sure you're not going to light any of your friends, your family, or your household robotic pets on fire, and go light us up. See, it doesn't even. All right.
Maybe last time.
That's my thing. Oh, I know. You see.
Let's session 0 some fucking D&D. Ow!
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Ooh. All right, guys. I did want to do. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna cough real quick.
Mute your
I do
microphone.
it all the time. Dance call.
Dance call. Dance it up.
I held it a few extra seconds. And it got me. I did forget to do my little pre-show announcements. I'm going to skip some of them, but for the love of the people that have supported us, I did want to shout out our raiders from the last time we went. We have one brand new friend of the show and one very old established one. We have the Worst of Times. Which came and had a great time, hung out and chat a little bit. Definitely be sure if you're watching, guys, give them a follow. It's free. It does, and it just helps all of us here in this community
Give him a kiss.
do the thing that we're trying to do. And then, of course, a mad shout out to our friends over at Quest Keep. Just some of the most wonderful human beings of all time. I did have the opportunity to play with Roz from over there. They have a killer studio. Like all Blackwater D&D's live stuff is done in the studio over that Quest Keep does. Phenomenal Canadian buds. and just some of the nicest people around. So be sure, again, anybody who raids in, come on, just show them some love, give them a follow. And
Kiss him.
that's it. Give them a little syrupy kiss. And I don't know. I've actually been to Canada now, so I can't say I've never actually been.
Can't take it back.
Yeah, I can't take it back now. Woo, 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 woo. Welcome back, guys.
Everything's fine.
In the Diesel Dynasty, the show goes offline,
It
right?
happens.
Ooh, it's a game.
We are
Steampunk computer.
experiencing some technical difficulties. As soon as I was like, I've got a way that it doesn't ever do that anymore, it did it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna not launch a couple of the extra add-ins, so the sound stuff might not work, and the stream avatars are going to be down because those weren't running when I did my tests, and perhaps that might be part of our problem.
And when he says running, he means Sean fell off the hamster wheel.
There's no
So everything shut down.
no.
So it stopped running, you know.
Running. Like, yeah. Okay, cool. So thanks for, as you guys rejoin us. I appreciate it. If that happens again, we'll come back one more time. Just challenge me. See how many times I'll come back. You'll never know. I imagine it'll run a little longer. Or just keep pestering them with "we're live" messages, and that's maybe it's not a glitch, it's a feature. Welcome back to Weed&d, the positive live. We are session zeroing tonight, guys. So we are going to be moving in to our. This is the 4th chapter of the Ganjaria saga. This is the last of the remaining non-taken over branches. You know, our big cannabis leaf continent of Ganjaria. This is in the far northwest, and this is the Summer Kingdom. As we've talked about a little bit, this is a far more steampunk genre. It's kind of, if you ever played Final Fantasy 3, the US 3, you get like Magitech. It's like a fusion of magic and technology. It goes as far as we choose to push it. It's not necessarily like future tech, but just kind of a medieval mix of high magic and these technological advancements of gnome tinkerers. And, you know, the Diesel Dynasty themselves has been tampering with these magics for over 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. They are the only other main power in the world that even can contend with the Indicus Empire, where the rest of the world went to help, you know, shelter Sativan from these dark forces that went. The Diesel Dynasty turned inward. They sit on the other side of this large, massive desert that it's perpetually the hottest of summers, called the Devouring Wastes. And they spread for miles kind of on this offset by volcanoes and this really harsh terrain that kind of protects the Diesel Dynasty from most of the world threats. And in this insulation, they've become somewhat paranoid and are constantly, you know, you guys might remember near the end of the last chapter, they were responsible for having put in the clone of Thoricus Onyxheart as the emperor.
Right.
And so it's, you know, this group is kind of like has their fingers deep in the world all over the place. They're, you know, some of you traveled with some of their agents from the prologue. That little jaunt, that was some of them that you guys were moving with at the time. So this world, as you can see it here, it's kind of the desert tip, you know, surrounded by the Black Rock Mountains, which through these strange magics that this region has been tampering with, like turned into a ton of volcanoes. So in the main cities, there's these like clouds of volcanic acrid acid air, and these like breathing apparatuses have been built. They've shifted over to using glass, you know, with this extreme heat and all this sand. Glass
might as well.
Yeah, so they use those, you know, in a lot of their architecture and these like breathing apparatuses that everybody tends to use unless they're immune to the effects. Stem from that kind of glass technology fusing with some of the magic of artifice. Now, Digby was an artificer. This is where any of the knowledge of that kind of thing came from. Remember the books and manuscripts that he'd studied from all stem from this region. They have created a form of magic that is actually technological. It is not drawing from the magics of the nugs in this world. Remember, in Ganjaria, it is the master nugs that populate, kind of as the weave did before, the elements of magic that sorcerers and wizards draw from. The Diesel Dynasty, rather than be beholden to this magic, just as they had the weave, forged, you know, mechanical magic. It's the spells operate similarly, but you're not using the actual raw power of magic, but a self-created, man-made version of it. Through this avarice, they've finally taken their steel-born soldiers, you know, the large mechanical creatures near the end of the prologue that stormed the mountain. And they've created the actual war forge. So they've trapped souls, from all the dead souls that have been gathered over the years of Ganjaria. They found a way to trap those souls within a living mechanical body. And so that race will be available to everybody in this chapter. If anybody wants to play on the forge. They are kind of a servant race species currently, subservient to the kind of the big houses. So again,
this is saying slave.
What's that?
Is it a nice way of saying slave?
To some degree, it depends on where you're at in the town. But yes, they aren't considered, and they don't have like voting power, or it's like they have no seat at the table. Although they probably helped build the table and hold the table up. There's which is a great, again, as we're talking about session zeroing, there's a great story to examine in that space.
Yeah.
About what a living creature is and its role in such a society. In this session 0, just to explain what it is, it's a game session that you run before a large campaign where you guys talk about the upcoming campaign before you run it. They're intended to get you and the players all on the same page about the game that you plan to play and the campaign you plan to experience. Some come in a little prepared, some don't know what they're going to do. I do have this kind of built-in background lore of this area, and then am interested to see where in that you guys find joy in exploring. It allows us to manage expectations about the game, what it is and what it isn't. And we can tie your guys' characters to each other without the let's play 3 sessions of explaining why we're all together. This idea, we've now done that story as players a couple times. And so we can, in this space, give us a nice point to jump right into the action. And so let's see. Everybody understand what kind of game you're going to play? It helps define the boundaries of that game. I highly recommend session 0s. This was one of those things when I was not, I would say, as apt a DM, I was like, I don't think you need to do that. You absolutely should. It helps to focus when character gen is character gen, when let's have an idea of the world. And then now you can think, who do I want to be in that world? And it'll help inform your character rather than forcing all those into one step. In the session 0, we're going to go through kind of the world itself, its characteristics, the truths of the campaign, what the drive, what are you guys trying to do in that world, which I think we can kind of come up with together, but I have options. The factions that you guys would know about. Patrons, we'll play with that tool again that came from Tasha's. We had that in the Kush Kingdoms. Safety tools that we're going to use. We are implementing a new one at the table. And that's always a nice point too. Just be like, hey, what do we do if the fun is not being had anymore? Because that's the most important thing, right? And ways by which to just, without effort, flow back into the thing we all love doing. We'll talk about some of the house rules, and we'll also talk about some of the new rules, some clarifications on that. Really, I don't have any etiquette stuff, but that's something if you're playing at home, you can talk about how you guys will handle things that happen. Don't ever cheat anyway. That's the thing. So I have prepared a one sheet. We've kind of talked about some of this stuff a little bit now and explaining the map there. I'll go through them now and then add any clarification that we need. But these are the set truths of this campaign. So the first one, the Diesel Dynasty is one of the original nations that survived the Feywild and found its roots in Ganjaria. They were the creators of the Steelborn, and this nation is known for its highly technical creations, fusions of infernal magics, and brilliant artifice. I'm changing it in real time.
Infernal.
And so it's like steampunk, like I said, magitech of the Final Fantasy III era. And trust me, as we bring in visual elements to the game, you'll see those as well. Much of the dynasty, this is number 2, has turned away from reason in the name of ingenuity. Their obsession in magical prowess has come at a price. They've tinkered, and all their experiments have released these large lava flows that now run beside the cities and brought this ever-present cloud of noxious gas that hangs over the cities in the Blackrock Mountains. These breathing apparatuses are necessary if you wish to breathe the acrid air without penalty. So you can do it, but there will be a cost at them. So managing that resource will become somewhat important in this story. The Steelborn armies of the Everindel era have been improved and now are the Warforged species. They are a living mechanical race infused with the soul of a living being, and they serve as a subculture of the kingdoms. And most of them serve the mighty long-standing houses of the dynasty and have been the cornerstone of their ability to adapt and overcome to all these crazy things that have happened, lava flows, and trying to build a nation constantly being ripped apart by magic. And lastly, as these demon armies of Titania, the blight, everything's spreading from the south, which has kind of been a counter to every step we've taken in the land of Ganjaria. Titania, her husband, the Demigorgon, and the blight of the Infernix spread from the south. The Diesel Dynasty has turned internally, and they've started having alliances with infernal devils to increase the expansion of their magics. these alliances are not hidden in the shadows anymore, but are ever present as you notice the high technologies jumping in potency. And it's not uncommon to just see a devil walking the streets. So up till now, we've had a lot of demons. Again, just the brief highlight of the way D&D works. There is like the plane of chaos, which is where demons come from, the savage destroyers of everything that is set before them. And then from the 9 hells, you have devils, infernal magus, infernal evil races, who are constantly beset in a war against demons to stop everything from being consumed. But the way they do that is somewhat shady deals with mortal entities for their souls.
Duke Kyrox, baby.
Duke Kyrox, yes, was the first devil that you guys actually isn't he a member of the helping committee?
He is.
Yeah, he signed a contract.
He's
signed up.
He's
He's in.
Then he left.
So with that, just
like,
kind of the basic campaign pitch of this. This is kind of what's happening, and then we can kind of discuss the fun side of building of what we're going to do in this space. So the Fellsworn Kingdom is directly to the south, and they have fallen. Now they've doubled down, the Diesel Dynasty has doubled down on increasing its power of artifice. These great houses of the dynasties seek to wrestle control from the kingdom from the others, and this magical arms race has begun with repercussions unconsidered or just ignored. A recent sundering of the nearby mountains led to a lava flow that revealed the ancient dungeon of Ulbalka, which holds powerful artifacts that can shift the balance of power in the race to technological supremacy. Those who hold these artifacts will forge the future of the dynasty. So that's the pitch. This mountain has recently sundered through one of these massive feedbacks to all of this dark magic that's taking place. The earth literally ripped open and spilling lava forth, but then revealing this Ulbalka dungeon, well written about in the legacies of the Diesel Dynasty that they thought had fallen in the Feyfall.
How many X's in Ulbalka?
Right, there's none. No Y's either. I'll give it here.
Is
Let's
there an
spell it out.
apostrophe?
I'm gonna guess UULBALKA.
All right, it is UL.
Ah.
All right, all DMs get used to this. Your players never know how to spell the words.
Never.
And you spell them weird because it's more fun that way. So yeah, we're just gonna start spelling everything. I'm spelling EVER. So the dungeon is UL apostrophe BALKA.
I was one letter off. God
I had
damn
it
it.
exactly right except for the apostrophe.
The apostrophe is the
What
most.
was it?
important.
BALKA.
What is it? Ulbalka. It's the dungeon.
One more time, UL.
UL apostrophe BALKA.
Okay.
This is exciting, guys. We got a spelling. It's great.
That's it. So there's
It's happening,
Look at
guys.
this.
It's
the
happening.
last element
Start.
of this. I know I said that was the last one and then I'd open it up, but I didn't scroll down. Remember patrons. Patrons were introduced in Tasha's and I love them. If there's ever like an in-game person that would benefit from the actions you're doing, they might help you with information, resources, and so on. So that's kind of the patron. These are the people that brought you all together. You're not subservient to them in any way, but they are somebody you can lean on if you need, regional information. The 4 patrons that I put, and this is one of the things I think we can open up if we want. These are the 4. The first one is the Frigid Brotherhood. That's FRIGID. And that is
Set my coffee up.
that is actually an alliance of undercover Indicus Empire agents. They are either led by arthardstudios.square.site. Don't worry, you don't need to know these spellings right now. Or potentially Chronics, which we have talked about as a potential thing. So that's where I'm like, hey, let me talk with you guys about the choices here. But these are the 4. The second one is the Fizzbibble Academy. Let's shout out to my boy Greg and one of his old characters. It is an academy of artifice that's led by Tara Fizzbibble, and it believes in artifice without infernal influence. It doesn't want these bonds and deals with devils, and thinks that just straight artifice is stronger in the end. The third,
Pure shit.
the third, which I will spell, is House Telwyx, TELWYX. Again, TELWYX. This is one of the lesser but ancient houses in the dynasty. Again, don't worry about spelling it on the NPCs yet. This is all still kind of lugubrious. Led by Ulrich Telwyx, seeking the artifacts for the gain of this one house. So you could kind of like play through, what if you were one of these houses vying for power and they put together this group of people for what ends?
What do they care about?
Primarily, you know, like all houses, being the one in charge, and since they're lesser, they're more inclined to opening their eyes a bit. You know, they're not necessarily frozen in ancient tradition and are more willing, maybe a little more malleable to the ideas of like creating a better Diesel Dynasty. And again, some of these specificities can be filled in by like, ooh, like where would we want him in that spectrum to play? And then lastly, which is just because you always like to throw a little left-hand throw, is the wing nuts.
Wing nuts.
So wing nuts in the Devouring Waste. Ooh, yo. That Devouring Waste, that large desert, there's these like strange unions of inhabitants. They're not quite mercenary groups, but they live on these strange drifting cities through the desert. Like the sands move and they go with them. Their current leader is Fezzy Sand Drinker, and they're a little Mad Maxian. They're like, they've also heard like, hey, there's these artifacts. We're sick of being in the desert. We want to, you know, they're kind of like storming in to try to get the people of the Devouring Wastes a little hand in all of this.
Sand drinker?
Fezzy Sand Drinker.
Delicious.
Is that 2 Ds, like sand drinker?
It is 2 Ds and 2 Zs also.
Okay.
Fezzy was Fezzy. Again, some of these might change, but those are the guys. So this is kind of, you know, just to show like there's elements of people that are trying to get into the Diesel Dynasty and subvert them, or, you know, maybe curry their favor. Obviously, if the Indicus Empire and then we're able to team up, their power would increase tenfold. The problem is hubris, and a lot of the dark deals have implications on even the rulers of this kingdom. You know, they are beholden first to their infernal magical providers. And as such, it becomes very difficult. The Fizzbibble Academy is almost like the technological approach to all this. You have like the technical artificer types, a school of learning this new magic that is watching this dark corruption and wants to involve itself in some way. We talked about House Telwix. You could kind of play into the familial strife for power and trying to get these artifacts to make a house that's lesser, one of the main houses, and potentially influence the outcome of the Diesel Dynasty. That's a choice. Like perhaps House Telwix is weak because it hasn't bonded with the devil yet, and you have the opportunity to play through that pursuit. Or the Wingnuts is like, we are out in the desert fighting for survival, and finally we want to come in and get a peace. For whatever reason that may prove to be. The Devouring Wastes are extremely hard to occupy, and so the people that live there vary in their eccentricities. But all of these things are present as well. So if you're with one, it doesn't mean you're against another or whatever. But if there's an element in that kind of struggling for this, these artifacts do relate to the world events. So there is the through line is the same thing as the campaign pitch. One way or another, the goal right now of each of these is vying for these artifacts. And the only one where they know they would be is this dungeon that just got revealed. So at this point, and again, I'm all for like jumping in. We don't have to, you know, play through how did this group meet this group and stuff. We can kind of establish it together. So just as far as that goes, how does that setting feel for you, and are there points of interest in there? Because none of this is, everything's wrong till it's right, and so we can kind of like craft the setting that we want to play in the most and how we want to play in it even, you know what I mean? So but yeah, I've now outlined everything, but how we feeling?
That sounds dope.
Yeah, that sounds fun. It's like ancient artifacts we got to go find and figure out. Like it's cool. The Mad Max meets steampunk is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah, some fun elements to play with.
Yes.
People can be robots.
Robots.
Ghost robots. Ghost robots.
Ghost robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the ghost robots.
I like the devils too, that they're just around. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, devils are it's like when you look at the two types of evil. There's like evil that just wants to consume and kill everything. That's, you know, the blight, this drive. Like devils are like, let's talk about some things. Like I'm not going to necessarily. They are evil creatures, but they have like ultimately they're fighting for you in this horrible war.
Well, they're fighting so that they can continue to get your souls.
Yes.
They don't want everyone to be
Luckily,
wiped out
because
then there's no souls. Right. And I'm like, I'm kind of doing it for you, but it's for me though.
Yeah.
But then they're in like a city of a bunch of gingers, and they're like, oh crap, because none of them have souls.
Shoot, what are we gonna do now?
Of all places.
You are 5 redheaded adventurers.
The devil's like, oh.
I love the idea of a devil your character coming up and the devil coming up, and both of you are like,
Dang.
two red friends.
Yeah.
Just two cool guys.
Two red friends.
Two red.
That's us.
That's them. Cool. What about the as far as the have you guys had any thought about like what characters you might want to play?
A little.
This is not set in stone.
Dabbling. Dabbled. I've dabbled. I'm trying to look at more.
You're used to being the president, so yeah, you go.
Oh my God. She's the president.
Yeah,
She's
that's
the president.
We're putting that block down.
Yeah, she's over there doing other things that are fun. I was thinking about being an artificer because it would be really fun in this setting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe like a gnome, perhaps.
And with a funny last name, maybe?
I'm kind of thinking because there was talk of Whiz Pump in the past.
Yes,
it'd be fun to sort of flesh out her character and bring her to life a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. No artificers. Now, what's dope too, because I know there has been thoughts of like, well, I'll be an artificer. There can be tons of artificers are so like your specialty.
All the different
you can literally be all
subcategories.
artificers and still have a balanced party. So, but yeah, that's fun. Go with the gnome. Yeah.
Oops, all artificers.
Oops, all
Well, and you said power armor?
that'll be.
It's about that.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in
It's always
power
a hard thing because it's like you don't want to make like mech suits that become more powerful than characters and stuff, but there will be this enhancement of physical attributes from the technology. So there might be like jumping boots that you put on and go,
Oh my God, like
jump you
Shell.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like far less. I mean, there will be a sweet power armor suit, but that would be controlled by one of the bigger houses right now. But you could steal those plans and build them yourself. That's what's fun about an artificer. You're like, I figure out how to do what they did.
Oh yeah, I like some like self enhancements that. Playing with that will be fun.
Yeah, and that's so one thing that's fun in the artificer class. Literally, like one of the best things about them is you don't actually have magic. So if you're casting the spell jump, that's your way to you don't go and then they jump. You go, I strap rockets to their boots and they go and they jump up in the air. Like you're actually weaving. That was like the character I played in that Extra Life thing. It was like, I have flame touch or whatever. It's like, oh no, I like take a dude's teeth, dip them in pine tar, light them on fire, and shoot it through a severed leg. It's like it's fun. You get to just like describe magical effects. Which ends up a lot of fun.
And I think that'll be extra juicy in this setting.
It is.
Yeah.
So, and we're going back up a level as far as like our level barrier. You guys won't be quite as strong as the world affecting people that you've played in the last one. But I think that right now I haven't decided exactly if it's 5 to 9 or 7 to 10. Like I'm living in that vein right now. I think 5 is good because then everybody has their extra attack. It's like we have also done that mechanic. So 7 is where some tasty things start coming online. But I will absolutely have that by the time we make our characters. And even some of this, if it seems like you guys are doing things at a little bit of a higher level, I'd probably start you at a higher level so we can facilitate. Level 5 characters like winning the dungeon don't necessarily happen, right? So, but if that's like one of the main goals, we could start you a little higher and have that be the case. Sweet. Something I like that.
Yeah, I think I kind of talked to you about being like a rogue character.
Yeah.
And but I talked to Dave. Dave is Bud.
Shout out to
Super
Dave.
Bud.
Letters up to Dave.
Fuck yeah, Dave.
Dave Clark.
Dave,
Oh, no.
thanks for your D&D Beyond.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Dave.
You've made this awesome, my friend.
For so many other reasons.
I'm logged into it right now.
So I was talking to Dave because he's helped me make almost all my characters, because what I'll do, because he loves building characters, but what I can do is I can come to him with an idea of something like a sentient teddy bear that fights nightmares, and he'll go, oh, you know what that could be? It could be this, 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 and this, and you could be this, and it's a monk, and blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So I talked about being like a more grounded character, and I love the idea of is it the Inquisitor? Like I was like thinking of building the character kind of like a rogue, but like Batman, like thinking about what Batman's attributes are.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because there are different ways you can go with that. I know. I looked at people on Reddit were really arguing about it. But I looked at that 'cause I was just curious. But my version of a Batman.
What?
Yeah.
Everyone's so nice.
They're normal.
That's odd.
That's right.
So out of character.
So yeah, doing that, I was like somebody that's got like high perception, I thought about them being like a sniper, which won't come into play a lot, but it will be fun if it like the moment it does will be great.
Yeah.
Big payoff for that. So.
Yeah, and we talked, the reason to bring that up too is like, I like to, when a player brings an idea to me, I like to also just be like, oh, hey, sometimes in my play style, some things might get curbed in usefulness.
Yeah, it was good.
And the sniper thing, like the idea of being able to shoot from very far away is useful, and a lot of DMs like to start 1,000 people. I typically don't. I like to be in the room that we're in. And I just wanted to be like, hey, there's like, I will also be aware of the skills and capabilities of the group, but also I just wanted to be like, that does bend a lot toward like a specific focus on a type that I don't tend to provide a ton. And I can also work toward doing that, but just I like to let players know like, oh, hey, I don't tend to, a lot of the time it's like skills that I never really use or whatever, where it's hey, I don't do that a lot. So like, feel free to do whatever you want. That might not help the things that you'll actually be asked to do.
Yeah, and I appreciate
you don't want to waste a feat.
I like that, like an investigator of sorts too, like a little bit of that, like ability to like observe. I like that a lot.
And I also, just to give her some more like juiciness, I wanted her to maybe be from the Fellsworn Kingdom.
Yeah.
Just so it was really helpful that you're talking about like where it is and all that kind of stuff, and it would just be interesting to represent somebody that's like there, that's like from there and on the inside, like, because then who knows what they're like. There could be tons of other reasons why they're trying to get these artifacts.
And it's like there's a nice lore. It's like, again, like Graylin Faragor, the Fellsworn Kingdom, the guy that kind of turned his back on everybody that made all this happen. That was his kingdom, and it was the first one that we had learned was overrun by the Blight entirely. So there's like a nice like opportunity between me and lore that I want to share with the world that
is
you
there
can
anything
have.
there?
And a nice, play space. Similarly to how like Shay and I had like the what was going on with the house beneath the city.
Yeah.
And, it's I enjoy things in that space because it's also like if something feels right, we can always go with it. I like that a lot. And we'll get a taste of like that last continent of like what went on and why, or at least as known by one person.
Because the other thing is like I don't really want her to be like, she's not a princess. She's not like a big deal. She's just a person that was caught up in all this bullshit and now is like hardened. Yeah. Princess Pat.
Princess Pat. I'm gonna write that down. Just in parentheses.
I'd watch that.
You're not
probably has no hands, Princess Batman.
Princess Batman has no hands. Is the name of my character.
Her
name is Princess
don't feel beholden to the lore in that sense. You can, whatever the character you want to make is, I can then tie those. The person that might be talked about when you say a person did this or whatever. Like you guys have a lot more grip in the seeing where so much of your character is not from behind it, it's moving forward to it. But it is nice to be able to just know, like, you're like, this is kind of what I want for it. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, and we can do this and this and this and this, and it creates like a nice connection through everybody. So again, like some of that stuff has been huge. Some of it's been like, I'm the son of the king potentially. And,
no big deal.
Other stuff has just been like, I know there's a dragon.
Did you guys see it? So Sinterandir Eldark said, this sounds super cool. I imagine a character of Winter, Eldrin, Charlatan, Artificer, Alchemist called Auric Migraine on Wingnut using CBC microdose magic in his shenanigans.
Well, Eldark, welcome to your people.
Yeah. What's up? I couldn't see it until it was up.
That's a great idea that I just had and will be an NPC program.
Interesting.
Copy paste.
Wow. Writing that down.
No, he's not a charlatan, Eladrin artificer. He's an artificer that also is an Eladrin and does charlatry.
Right, just happens to.
Dabbles in charlatry.
He's a dabbler. Yours doesn't say dabbles at all.
Yes.
To two blunts.
Oh,
Two blunts!
Two blunts!
Fucking Gus Langley in the house.
I'll package this bowl real quick. I'll package this bowl
Joining us,
real quick.
Tim at the death dealer. Original prologue cast member. That's it. We got the whole gang here. This is everybody.
We got the whole fucking gang.
The whole gang.
The whole gang. The whole gang.
Everybody's here.
Darko. Everybody here. Everybody out here.
Sean's here.
So yeah, I think
Sean's here. Yeah.
Sean's here.
Sean?
Vlad busts through the wall.
Oh yeah.
You can fix that.
Yeah. Everybody's like, yeah. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna call it door guy.
So yeah, I know. I'm kind of I was just trying to think about like what I haven't done yet. And I think being a little bit more grounded, I haven't done yet. So I want to try that out. And I thought what would help me a lot is knowing a lot. Like at least not knowing a lot, but just knowing, because Gil like knew the history of the world, but was kind of like didn't really give a shit. Like, just was literally there to hide from the cops.
Yeah.
No fucks.
Yeah.
Like, all, like, and then was just like, I'll just start a new life because, like, these people don't know about space problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, you know,
And
so.
then there's like a star journey. You're like, shit.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
Yeah. Fuck. Well, like, it's like, you know, the party's gotta end at some point,
That's
right?
it, yeah.
So like, it's, and then Gil just kind of got away with whatever Gil wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I want to play a character that's like, it's just a.
Honestly, it's like it's a joy. Like
Yeah.
it's funny. You'll feel that's such a gift in the sense of like the game is like you really can just kind of like experiment around in things and find like there's like fun things that would seem not, and there's things that'll be fun that'll come out of surprise in those elements.
Mhm.
But it's always a lot of fun to be like engaged in a type of play you haven't done and
So
find the fruits of that. Yeah. And it's like, again, I'll be serving up plenty of like serious. I remember telling you guys, I was like, yeah, let's play like smoke weed and play D&D in my grim fantasy sad world of betrayals and death and gloom and Lord of the Rings. So which I sold pretty much everything from.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Good.
Take it.
Lord of the Rings is good.
Good artist borrow, great artist steal.
So yeah, I just thought, and I also, like, I'm willing to change my, like, you know, being a rogue, like, the Inquisitor thing. I'm willing to, like, shift stuff around to, like, help fill out a team, so I don't know what everyone
There's
else
also
is
kind of a
doing, but-
cool opportunity just jumped to my head. There is like the Steelborn would be like the ones that lived around and might have been there,
Mhm.
which aren't Warforged. They're like a mechanical entrapment given the idea of life, like a magical rebirth, but no soul bound to it. So it's like more like a golem with a little bit more a soulum.
Oh my heart!
Oh,
You were
the
here.
hits keep on coming,
You
boys.
were
Look at
dog.
the dog right
Letters
out
up
of
to
town.
soulum.
Solum.
I remember when.
Solum.
Solum.
Hashtag remember when Solum.
Remember when soulum? Oh, that's going
Where were
on.
you when Solum?
Remember when soulum?
Solum.
Guys, remember when
Uh-huh.
Solum?
Never forgot.
Remember soulum?
Never forget. Oh,
Oh, swish. All right.
So wish.
But yes, that's also an opportunity. That doesn't necessarily mean it has to come through you, but that's something if any of your guys like, oh, that could be cool to play like a not yet Warforged, and that storyline is interesting in ways. And yeah, as far as class and stuff, it's like none of that's necessarily set in the. You know, like feel free to have the concept and like Dave does for you.
Oh, I
you can
kind
all,
of
like,
no
here's what
class.
kind of fits that thing and other
No
options
class.
you
Yeah.
have there.
Yeah, Dave's been very helpful with that, so thank you to Dave Clark 5.
Yay!
Fuck yeah, Dave.
Yeah.
hey Dave.
Whoop. I'd say letters up, but I'm already super.
Yeah.
I'm super
I drink,
duper
I
high.
use hydrate. I hydrate.
Chris-
Yeah.
I've
there
been
it is. Yeah, yeah.
Solum.
I just kind of noticed that. I was like, wow, I'm pretty high.
Yeah, coming through.
Swallow 'em.
Solemn. Solemn.
Yeah.
Yes, like
Like Nintendo.
I'm always saying.
Like I'm always saying, in the classic video game Nintendo,
They know.
they know.
Classic.
The people know.
Does anyone else have any idea of what they want to do with me?
Or if there's like elements that just seem exciting, you know what I mean? Like, it just helps me to kind of get a grip on like what it is that's appealed in that sense. If you don't have any like a set in answer for those characters, like some of this stuff seems interesting. I can kind of make more cool stuff about it and find a better fit,
Mhm.
you know?
Which one of you is going to be a wingnut?
Funny enough, I'm
Funny.
I'm glad you asked.
You should mention.
Jake Taylor here.
Interesting. Hi, Jake Taylor.
Abby and I were on the same brain planet because I was also thinking artificer gnome, but because there's so many subclasses, I was looking at armorer,
Ooh, yeah.
and he would be more of like a technological tailor, where it's just like you spin the bow tie and it's brim of the hat.
That's
And
cool.
it's like
That's fun.
it's clothing, it's fashionable
Yeah.
clothing for the steampunky but it also
Oh.
functions as armor or other things.
Of course it
So
does.
cool.
I know.
Oh, I know.
I made
Knew
this
all
up.
about it.
This is my point. Like, let people. Yeah, that's dope. I'll use that, a bunch of that.
That's fun.
Yeah, and again, it is funny, the specialties of artificers. It's like there's like steel defender where you have a little metal animal with you, or there's like the what I always play, the artillerist, which just has like a cannon that you build and it does cool things. Or the alchemist is also so it's like you do potions and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it's like again, like artificer is one of those classes. They can stack up pretty well and fulfill different roles.
Okay.
And again, like I don't think 5e is necessary in like the role specific. We can Like, I don't think anybody has to feel like forced to play a healer. You know what I mean? There's other ways we can solve that.
Yeah, this will be a
That
creative season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already like Mad Max meets Indiana Jones. That sounds dope.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sweet.
Gnome twinsies.
Gnome twins.
No twinsies.
Just two little guys.
You know how much
There's little
people
guys.
be family.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god,
Slump
brothers.
shoulders, slow down.
And we're
They're
brothers
twins.
with their brothers.
Yeah, you guys are
You're
twins.
just all wing nuts. You're like,
Everyone's awake.
All
We were separated at birth. We had a whole podcast about it.
it's the podcast.
Yeah, I love it. I love you guys being twin brothers, and you have like a whole story of that adventure of you guys meeting, and now it's just like now we're just here.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I asked.
That's all. We're
good now.
How it got better.
Yeah,
They're staring.
yeah.
They're not. They do not.
Yeah, that is another note that's kind
Nothing
of nice.
like
It's like,
actually.
I think they just agreed that they were twins. I don't think they're really
Somebody told them
birth
something
certificate.
many years ago, and they're
you guys are
sticking with it.
you guys like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Done.
Sure.
I accept.
Aren't you like 5 years older than her?
Huh? My twin?
My twin.
Yeah.
Who? My twin? Yes.
My twin, yeah.
Of course, my twin.
Ah.
But yeah, you guys are higher on that high enough level that it's like you can have like a whole back thing that led to you. You know, it's not like you're level 1 where it's like I just got off the farm and suddenly there was a wolf and I fought it.
I was born.
I didn't
Dungeon.
get crit.
Here I
Dungeon.
am.
The little Kung Pao baby.
I was born in a dungeon.
So cute.
That's terrible.
I was born.
I don't have any potions.
I had a lot of infections.
That was my
I
father.
was sick.
I was sick often. I was born in a dungeon. It was awful.
I was born in a dungeon.
So that's fun. We'd have like a potion, and then yeah, it'd be fun. A witch.
A witch.
Just hanging out.
A witch.
Terrible. Machinery is wrong.
I had thought about being a witch.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Dude, heck yeah. That's the other thing too. It's like,
Little steampunk witch.
Yeah, that's where I was like leaning, was like a steampunky witch.
leaning
That's
towards
fine. I love
steampunk
that.
witch.
I love that you
I'm
have
leaning towards steampunk
That'd be
witch.
cute if you had like little like you had plants like in little vials and stuff. That's cool. Like you grow all the herbs and stuff like on you at all times. It's very hydroponics.
Hey.
She's giving hydroponics.
She's a vertical farm.
Yeah.
Serving.
Hydronica.
Your breathing is like there's like a tree.
Yeah.
Portable greenhouses.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, well, you're not going to listen to the witch. The air is acid, guys.
Oh, I thought she'd have
Maybe
like
I've got some
sure.
points.
I might
earth magic,
have a
and
good
then she could
reason.
do stuff with the sand.
No,
and
no.
we could just call
Keep
it
doing it your way,
sandwich.
guys.
Sandwich. Get out.
Dad. I love you, Dad.
Leaning towards steampunk witch is the coolest thing to see typed out.
Leaning
Sandwich.
towards steampunk witch.
Constantly leaning towards steampunk witch.
It's a good way to be. It's a good way to approach your day. Lean towards steampunk witch.
Druby, what about you? We've talked a little bit about chronics.
Yeah, a little bit. I was leaning towards monk. I kind of wanted to incorporate kind of the technology aspect into it and have him, have like metal knuckles that had like reverse, yeah, like a techno monk would use like reverse magnetism to like jump higher and punch harder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Every time he fights, like a crazy sick beat drops.
Yeah.
yeah. Techno
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Just throw techno monk and I'm so
Yeah.
like steampunk witch, techno monk.
Leaning towards.
Leaning
That's the full state. Leaning
Yeah.
towards
Leaning
steampunk
towards.
witch.
That's her
Steampunk,
name.
yeah.
That's her character's name.
Leaning towards.
She's just a gnome artificer.
Leaning towards steampunk witch.
My parents had great dreams for me.
I'm the paladin. Yeah.
Honey. And what are you leaning toward?
My name is very specific, Mom.
This
Do I get like a nickname?
feels
No.
personal.
No.
And you must say my whole name every time. Leaning towards steampunk witch, you're late for dinner. Leaning towards steampunk witch, steampunk witch.
Go to the dungeon.
Leaning towards steampunk witch, you're grounded.
Oh, she used my full name. I'm in trouble.
Leaning towards Marie steampunk.
Oh no! My middle name got used.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we all zoom in?
No.
As a table, that's all of our middle names.
Everyone, it is my
That's
middle name
everyone's
for real. It is actually my middle name.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I'm
That's why the joke's funny.
Bam was always 2 M's. Brandon Allen Marie.
Brandon Allen.
I'm glad you asked.
McClenahan.
Jake Taylor here. Just
Jake Marie Taylor.
with Chronix, we had talked about him being like a lost person. We hadn't really like defined exactly where he would be in this list. We don't necessarily have to either right now, but like in any of those elements, do any of those ring true to his to what you're feeling in him?
I mean, obviously the Frigid Brotherhood would stem from the Indicus Empire and could potentially involve him.
You don't necessarily have to be with them. You could be like a bounty hunter they use or something. You know what I mean? Like they don't know your true Onyx Heart name. Or, we have a lot of fun places we could play.
The Fifth Devil Academy sounded really cool to me, though.
Yeah.
It did. It was like...
It is really fun.
It sounded cool. And it was like, well, Thoricus is, comes from a long line of smithies. And so I was like, oh, I could bring that dwarven and half-elven smithing technology across the sands, kind of mix it with the steampunky and make awesome techno-monk.
You're a techno-monk professor at Fishbible Academy.
Professor Techno-monk.
Do you have like the Jin Kazama gauntlets? You can like...
Right, it's just like...
I love that
You guys are just his class.
We're on like a field trip.
Yeah.
Aww, that's cute.
This week we're going to Ulgara.
Just reading off the roll call, leaning towards steampunk.
Presents. Just all these little like
Dude, that's dope. I actually like that too. Like the because with monks too, there's like a tranquility that's into it. So like the idea of like a monk in like a university, there's like a cool bonding in that I like. And it does bring together like many elements of the Onyx Heart story in a way outside of kind of the way we've examined it too. So I dig that. I dig that a lot.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. And that would explain your techno monk stuff.
Coos is cool.
Art, I would be interested to know, are you like open about you're like Chronix, but are you Chronix Onyx Heart? Like, is that you don't have to make that choice.
I was gonna say I don't think I would want the Onyx Heart name to follow me because of the reason that we will come up with as to why he was exiled.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Like
for being a sweetie boy.
Yeah, just
get
too sweet. You're too sweet.
Too darn
Take
nice.
your techno music and get out of here.
He just loved dubstep and we couldn't fucking take it. You gotta go, son.
Tolerated Cockney accents.
You ruined all my stuff.
Get out.
Get out! How dare you? Get out!
I don't know what his accent's gonna be. We'll come up with a fun
I know. Fun accent.
Yeah.
We'll come up with a fun new one.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't get exiled because of his accent. Otherwise, yeah, Tenaricus also would have been exiled.
Right. Chronix.
Old Chronix.
Good old Chronix.
Good old Chronix.
Is that CHRONIX?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Again, is it IX?
CHRONIX.
It's IX.
I put a Y in it, of course.
Oh, the Y's.
I put a Y in it. It's good to know.
X is still there though. so it's fine.
Classic. Put an Y in it.
Yeah. There he goes again.
Onyx.
Where's the apostrophe?
Come on, yeah. A dash, even.
Oh, yeah. I like a dash.
Hyphenator.
And
Yeah,
pull out.
Chronix
Yep.
Marine. Onyx Heart.
One little backward, one of those little, the accent the other way.
Oh,
Like I know how to use it too. I'll put it on the wrong
TJ.
vowel
Yeah.
all the time. Like,
oh my God.
just say it.
Chile the wrong way.
To Dallas. I just wish you guys could be around where I'll just be writing this out, then I'll go, cool, rocks, cool. Oh, rock. I already did that one. Kai Cynthia. Fuck, I'm doing Kai Cynthius again. And most of the names I come up with first are names we've already used. So I just sit there and use apostrophes and X's and Y's to try. A lot of name generators are really useful in that way, but I just I'm going to say these words a lot. I want them to be fun to say.
Okay, I get it.
Telwix. Ulrich Telwix. Get out of here.
That's fun.
That's why I choose all my names.
What was it? Fezzi?
Who runs the academy again? I didn't get the name.
That's Tara Fizbibble. Her grandfather, legendary artificer who sells pies.
Pass.
And that is Fizzbibble.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Like it sounds.
Yeah.
Just like Fitzbibble.
So yeah, the other thing to consider is there would be a reason by which you would all collaborate on this, right? Like so there's some meaning. Obviously, the artifacts are the first goal set before you. Why you would be going for them? You would all come together.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. Yeah.
We got a cool graphic. That's the city of glass.
Cool.
I forgot like the name.
Ooh.
So all the music.
Steph,
is
what
like,
was it? Is it Artok? Alterox.
That's
City
it.
of Glass. That's
That's gotta be.
ALTUROX, I think. Right? Spell it, Steph. ALTEROX.
Alterox.
The City of Glass, which is where the academy, the Fizbibble Academy, would be placed.
Oops, not gas. There's
all
an
the
L.
music gonna be like Ocean's 11 music.
Ooh.
It'll probably be like all the music we already had.
I like that more.
I have a couple steampunk songs in there, though, so
Yeah,
try not to
yeah.
lean on them too heavily. Yes. Yeah, we have like the sweet Diesel Dynasty theme. It's one of my favorites.
We have to start like taking like recording like Steam stuff and hitting hammers and things like that,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that we can.
Yeah.
have
Everyone
all
gets
the
a pipe that they can.
Yeah.
All right, boom.
Hitting pipes.
Little train whistle.
Yeah.
Think I've got one of those
So
somewhere.
I wanted to go over our new safety element as well. So these are the X cards. They will work as a way by which if you as a player or a character or anything, or if any way whatsoever at all for any reason, I don't care at all, would like me to stop where I'm at and just pivot to something else different in tone or theme, I will do so. Absolutely no, this is a judgment-free admission. Trust me, I'm making it all up anyway. I'll make up something more fun for all of us all the time. It's important to me that everybody knows, like, we can feel free to have them as an off-screen method by passing them down to me, where if you don't want to draw focus to a thing that makes you uncomfortable, I understand that as well. And to reinforce that, let's just like pass each other stuff all the time, so they'll never know.
I'll never even know.
Little surprises.
Is it a delicious treat, perhaps? And so, yeah, this tool is something to kind of help in that space. It's like there is a nebulous space where we're exploring darker themes and elements, and especially, life and meaning and being and all this stuff. And we're all human beings filtering our experience of the world through this game as well. And so it's just one of those things. It's like there are a million things we could do this about, and if any of them are making you uncomfortable in any way, please feel free to pass that. And again, it just happens. Also, between any game, if you're like, hey, and after the game when I went home, or if, you know what I mean, the experience of the between, always feel open. It's such a gift to just realize where those spaces are or aren't, or it just makes it more fun. Honestly, it's like, oh, how can I make it even more fun instead of whatever the stuff is? So I highly encourage everybody who plays to do this. It's like it costs nothing, and it's one of those things. I don't think anybody really wants anybody doing anything they don't want to do.
Exactly.
And so we have talked as cast members of the show previously about kind of like where this story can't go, and I don't think anything really new is added in that sense, other than there's going to be a lot of cool steampunk descriptions,
Right.
But again, with things like souls and life and all that, it's sometimes and every day is a different day. So I'm always eager to have who you are that day with us, and feel free to just do that with no cost or a problem. And then
Every
the first
time
one
we
you'll do, I'll be like,
give it to you.
oh, this little what? And I just call you out.
You're just like, give me $1.
Yeah, it's $1. I didn't say you have to buy the X's.
You have to tip him with it.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
I just stared at
Slap.
my dollar.
Yeah.
Cough it up. I made $23 today. So yeah, as far as this goes, it's going to be a higher magic campaign, introducing a lot of these steampunk elements and themes. We've got some kind of concepts with the characters, but it's even nice to just get one out and then be like, oh, you know what? Now I've heard some of the other stuff. Here we have elements that exist in the storyline. There is like a connection to the Onyx Hearts through someone that isn't necessarily talking about that. So that, you know what I mean? We have connection through that space. There is this academy, this technological academy that wants to progress artifice without demonic or infernal influence. That we already have like somebody in that position. So that's a place to build out upon. You could also just be sent by them somewhere. There's kind of this hierarchical power battle between these ancient families, and then there's all the people that live here that have to deal with the fallout of those events. There's devils that can be a part of your background or story or character.
I'm a devil.
Like a warlock
I
would
am
make a
the
ton of
devil.
sense in
Yeah.
that sense.
I am the devil.
I'm
I'm actually.
Nice to meet you.
yeah.
I'm the devil. You're the devil? Oh my God.
Yes.
Peter,
Yeah,
Lucifer, devil.
I love them just being like, yep, that's
Yeah.
me.
Look, we need your soul. Okay, we're not gonna be weird about it.
Yeah.
That's the devil. I'm the devil,
Yeah.
and it's nice
Lucifer,
for us to
Marie,
meet you.
devil.
Yeah. I'm the devil. He's the devil. She's the devil.
Better the devil that you know.
Then the devil.
We get this
Give me $1.
steampunk campaign. We're all just cyber devils.
Cyber devil.
Cyber
Spooky.
Cyber
Ghost
devil.
devil.
I'm not writing that down. Remember when I said cyber
Right.
devils?
I was told there would be no reading.
I can. I've got it on. I've got it shot here. Is there a shot
It's
there?
too small. I can't read it.
What is it?
Eyes out of
He
bed.
said just
You
like
can
her.
also imagine Bugbear Druid Cook with some crazy backstory. Maybe not connected to any faction. Anyway, I was not able to watch you lately because I'm watching some from Central Europe, so it's hard to catch you live
That's
because
sweet.
right now it's 6 a.m. here. I really love your show.
Yeah.
Good.
Aw.
Thanks for being here. Fuck yeah.
It says 6 a.m. and I read BAM. I was like, it's BAM here?
It's Bam.
It's Bam here.
That place sounds dope.
Yeah.
Bam.
Hey, it's
Tonight,
Bam
guys,
there.
BAM o'clock. I gotta go.
Gotta get
That's
Bama
awesome.
About.
Yeah, that's also the, and I think we've done that with no problem before. Of just like, you can be whatever the heck you want to be, and we can find a reason for you to be here. It's like the narrative is there to support anything that excites you, and then what you guys want to do is where we'll go with it. So, feel free to adjust or dial tones in the sense of like, what do I want to make? And then trust me, it's really easy for me to fit that in any way that we want. And a lot of the times it becomes a gift for me. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Oh, cool. Oh, this would be sweet. We could do this. There's like a fun back and forth with that.
Oops, all bands.
Oops, all BAMs.
All BAMs.
Look out. Oops, all BAMs.
It's Bam
For
o'clock
just
somewhere.
$8.95, you can get yourself an Oops, all BAMs.
Oops.
That was a joke from Oops, all BAMs. So that's a very deep cut.
Whoa.
For our
Ooh.
studios channel fans. All right, sweet. As far as that goes, until I'll answer the question, I would say if you feel like you'd rather play at level 7, let me know. But I think right now it feels more like a level 5 kind of. It's like start at 5 and kind of you'll probably advance a level quicker than the average game. But it's because you guys are more comfortable with those abilities. You've already used sets of those style abilities. We'll start at level 5 unless something calls for a change to that. We will kind of make characters. That's like our goal for next week, like next Tuesday, is to do the actual character creation stream. And in between that time, we can kind of do any of that legwork together if you guys need to like just catch up, and we can lay down all the groundwork. We can do all the stuff except for like rolling stats, so we can watch that on screen. But almost everything else we can get set up so that it's whatever. Or if you want to go through the process of selecting some of them on stream, that's fine too. But I mean, honestly, right now I've got like a nice little juicy. I kind of see some stuff that works based on some of those. But yeah.
Oh, he's got a vision.
He's got a juicy vision.
The story of your characters. This is kind of the one point at which I, the DM, will be like, hey, it is kind of homework. Like, figure out what you want to play. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, and you don't even have to have a reason why that thing is. Like, I'll help fill in whatever that is. Whatever you want to play is the one I want you to play, right? And then it's like considerations of party balance and power. Let me kind of eyeball what needs what, and maybe I can throw an NPC in it if I need to fill a void or something, or an item that does a thing that subverts that need. Some of the things we talked about, just to kind of go over them in our minds again, some of the things that jumped out you guys had mentioned was the searching for these artifacts, this Warforged race, mention of devils, this kind of Mad Max, Indiana Jones Eve vibe, the Abby looking toward like whiz pump and gnome artificers, self-enhancements and things like that. This kind of Batman-y investigator, survivor of the Fellsworn, falling, that has now gotten into this place for whatever reason that feels right. Perhaps just finding out what the heck's going on over here and why they didn't do anything. Jake, you've got your gnome artificer look at this kind of like steampunk clothing guy. Almost like, it's funny, I have an Iron Man suit was one of my initial art concepts. It's like that kind of idea, like being able to go from like a mask and a tank to like a fancy suit to like a suit of armor or whatever. This is going to be so fun. Nicole, leaning toward a steampunk witch currently, but again, all that like in a world where, it's lava flows and stuff, like what what that character can be like becomes really exciting just to play out, as well as all the interactions with these people mixed in with Chronics, bro. The techno monk. And getting to play in a lot of that space too. You know, it's like you have got to, it's like don't feel obliged also like to follow this Onyx Heart storyline again if that's not what engages with you in this.
Right.
You know?
I just happen to be an
That's
Onyx
just
Heart.
a cool thing to have. Yeah. And then again,
it's Chronic's heart.
Right.
No relation.
oh,
Yeah.
No relation.
do you think he means Oath Ben Onyx Heart?
No way. Yeah, I love that they're like all the kids in school are like, I think he's an Onyx Heart. He's like, no, his name is Tronic's Heart.
Yeah.
Duh.
Obviously.
All right.
A hunk of junk.
Yeah, and then Cyber Devils is something else I wrote down, which is cool. So that's the kind of overall theme and vibe of this campaign. We had set to talk about some of the new rule changes as well. I think if we're going to do that, we should probably take a break.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And then pray that the computer continues to work.
Rules.
Then rules. Then rules. All right, guys. Then rules. We do have us a little intermission. Check out the amazing art that's been donated by the community and our incredible Vlad Kolinik that had art for the show itself. Music by Sandy Stein. I believe it's 10 minutes, right, guys? I always say the wrong one.
Yes.
Fill up your waters, find your papers, and we'll be back in 10 for some rules. Let's talk about rules.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Fucking rules? Hell yeah.
We'll see you in 10.
Yeah.
Kiss.
Chair sound. I didn't know if I did it. I did it.
It was.
Oh,
It was you. It was Drew.
cool. Welcome back, buds, to Weed&d, the Pod Positive Live tabletop role-playing experience. Look how live it is. Look at how live we're alive.
We're alive. So live.
Living it up. We have been session zeroing for our next chapter here, talking about the Diesel Dynasty. We are actually going to go over. Did I leave? I took it down, so just give me a moment here.
Put it back up, baby.
Vamp for me, guys.
Vamp,
The what?
Ooh.
Oh, that badass theme song.
Oh.
Since chapter, the prologue. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, sit on.
We're here.
Shit slaps.
Sandy Stein, baby.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to be in the desert instead of the cold times.
Right?
During
Just
the
be
actual
flipped.
cold times.
It was
Oh
cold.
my God, we've been doing the opposite.
Wait a
It's
minute.
warm here, we're cold in here. And when it's
Just
cold
like
here, we're warm in there.
Every time. Well, we started in the nice, lush, warm little cozy forest, and then Poopy City,
Poopy City.
and then the coldy colds now. Hot, dirty sand.
Hot, dirty sand.
Hot, dirty sand.
Oh, it's the sand is dirty. All right, I pulled it up. This is just kind of like a brief overview. Shout out to RPG Bot, who kind of just did a breakdown of some of the new rules changes. Some of this stuff is just, again, just to kind of like take any fear or worry about like using new rules or terminology. they'll just kind of outline them here. We'll also talk about a couple elements that we mentioned about new gameplay elements that I've been toying with in the background, utilizing things like what I think I learned from a game like 5 Minute Dungeon, and really fun ways to play Weed&d rather than just D&D. And so in that sense, this will kind of be like the stick rules and reactions to them. And then our thing we always do where we just kind of make our own and do what we want.
Are you gonna make it so we only have 5 minutes to do this dungeon?
So that is what I like about 5 Minute Dungeon is the notion of like events, NPCs, and monsters that are quickly handled and administered through powers and abilities that you guys have. In that, there's a fun like Patreon opportunity to like if you want to help make cards, artist opportunity, like hey, if you want to draw stuff to like we can create basically our 5 minute a 5 minute dungeon version of D&D in that sense. Like there's a ton of artifacts, there could be a ton of dungeons. It doesn't necessarily have to always be that way, but we could just have like a rapid fire series of events, traps, monsters, conditions, maybe beneficial NPCs of a deck that we can just build of our own art, all the stuff we have from Vlad. And so just kind of keep building more game elements, like gamifying pretty much all the elements of the game. Dungeons are great, and dungeons function a certain way. There's also like sometimes you need a dungeon to progress a story point. The first dungeon is a great example of that. Like really the goal is find the artifact. You know, we can utilize discovery of dungeon, but that doesn't seem to advance many of the storylines that we've kind of hooked into. So I want to play with elements of like that kind of thing, these kind of pop-up things that at any time could change in a fun way, maybe increasing some physicality. I do want to hang a green screen over here when we do the studio shift, which will happen before we launch. And so we can have some like fun green screen game opportunities and stuff in that vein as well, where you guys are like reacting to something you don't know is behind you as you run out. That kind of thing. Awesome. And so where it's just I just want to have like my hilarious fun friends have more fun, hilarious opportunities to enjoy the game.
Yay.
And also just be silly, insane people and enjoy that as well. So just to kind of jump in, it's super backwards compatible, but just like some basic terminology and changes. Like the term bloodied, which I've been using for a long time, is back into the game now. So if a thing is bloodied, it indicates that it is at half hit points or less. I've always kept it because it's just nice to, it's like, I can't tell you how many hit points they have, but if they're bloodied, you might change what you're doing at any time. Or
what did they have it changed to?
I just didn't have it. It was just like, they just had damage and as it went down, but bloodied came from 4E, so there was like a fear of keeping anything from 4E that bled into 5E.
Welcome back.
But yeah, bloodied is, I've always thought it's a great narrative tool to just be like, you are, you know, and if you've been paying attention, you're like, oh dang, if it's bloodied now, we have a lot of work to do. Oh, it's bloodied right away. You can kind of gauge the toughness of things beyond just my description of them. It's like, this one's the really hard one. They changed the chapter order. Playing the game is the first part. I'll have access to all you guys for the new 5.5 players handbook. We already have it through our good friend Dave.
Hey Dave.
So we like being able to put how to play the game in the first chapter is extremely helpful. Even if just looking over a precursory first chapter is a useful one. They now use the term D20 tests for ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws. That way, it's like there's skills that'll modify, you know, D20 tests, and in that way, it's like a little clearer on what those skills would adjust. Your spell lists will all be in the class section now rather than just the spells at the back. Things that are magic will have text like as a magic action to specify that they're magic. So anti-magic fields and effects that dampen magic, it's pretty clear what would and wouldn't be affected. There's forced movement. There's a little bit more of this in the game at large now. Pushing, shoving, spells that pick people up and move them. That's called being transported now. And so transport at 10 feet, things that have immunity to transport or whatever, it's just like a specified term to kind of be like, okay, I'm being moved and can I, or do I have abilities that offset that? Again, just kind of taking a couple terms and bringing them all together. Expertise is now both the feature that gives you expertise as well as learning that you add double your proficiency bonus. So anybody who has a rogue that's gotten expertise, you just double your proficiency modifier, and they're working on like how it's discussed being used forever, basically. The index has all the stuff, every item, feat, spell in the book, and there's a new rules glossary, which can really bring, like, if you have technical questions about specific terms or anything, pretty easily found now. There is, in saving throws, there was always this question of if you wanted to fail one, could you? You know, like if there's a negative effect for something, like I can turn electricity magic into an attack. So if you cast an electricity spell, maybe I want to take full damage to make it stronger, right? Right. It's clear now you can choose that. You can choose to fail without rolling.
Yeah, you had a character, right, that would have to stab yourself.
Right.
Blood hunter thing.
Yeah, Lucy.
Lucy.
Exactly. In some cases where it was like more would be better.
Right.
You know, they've now made it a clear thing you can't do that.
Like,
The heroic inspiration, the inspiration that we use for epic opportunities and such, you can roll any die immediately after rolling it, not just d20s, and you don't need to use it before you roll. They used to be like, I'm going to do this and then I roll. Now you can be like, re-roll that thing. That was the use of it.
Oh, okay.
So even if it doesn't work, you don't necessarily have the tie-in to the description.
right.
They're all common actions, all things that don't take an action or whatever are way more clearly defined. There's just a base DC for hiding now of 15. You have to get above 15 to successfully hide. So stealth checks and things like that. If you have stealth, that's like a way by which to use it. I don't know how strongly I'll hold to that because I like the idea of you not knowing if you succeeded or not. So the flexibility of DC is interesting to me. But that is a rule that they have changed. We'll see how we play with that. But I do like the idea that it's like you do have to succeed to some degree to be stealth. Lifestyle expenses, downtime activities, those have all been removed from the PHP. And then there's just like equipment stuff for that. So we've never really used the rules for that anyway. Our downtime has always been of our own design. So nothing super changed there. In combat, you can stow a weapon or change a weapon just freely as part of an attack. So it's like you don't have to like waste a turn to get a different type of weapon to fight in those conditions. There's nothing super there. Some of the spell clarifications, which we'll go over specifically with caster characters. Right now there's a lot of artificers, so that's kind of a focus. They're just a lot better about clarifying exactly what is happening by the words of the spell. Again, a lot of these terminology changes and stuff have kind of led it where it's easier to understand what things are and aren't supposed to do. Again, just clarifications of some rules. Grappling is now just a part of unarmed strikes. It's no longer like a whole aside rule set. Opportunity attacks, there's a cool thing they're doing where a creature that you can see doesn't have to be an enemy anymore. So like, remember you were a warcaster and you could cast spells as a reaction to an AOO. Now you could do that to an ally. You could like shift past them to have them cast a spell, like a beneficial spell on you. Ooh. So you can positively use it as well as this kind of just like, they're attacking you because you move away from them.
Yeah, more uses for your reaction, which is nice.
Surprise has always been a weird thing. Like, do we get a full round? Who does what and everything? They've just done it now. If you guys surprise the thing or they surprise you, you just get disadvantage on the initiative roll. That's it. More likely not to act first, but not impossible to, if you're a really alert person, still be like, something's up.
Right.
Two-weapon fighting is no longer limited to melee weapons, so like you could dual pistols and dual crossbows. Again, a lot of this stuff is just like clarifying. Like shoving is just you choose strength or dex. It's not athletic checks opposing or picking locks and what those challenge ratings are and how resting. There's like you can have your long rest interrupted, which makes it take a little longer. So like there's a few different interruptions you can use, and it just makes it where instead of 8 hours, it took 9 hours or 10 hours to get your full rest.
Gotcha.
I tend to just like keep the ball rolling with the old Final Fantasy, like, there's a life well you can drink from. But again, in a game like this, the long rest might be a little bit more of a mechanic if it's, a little Mad Maxy and a little Indiana Jonesy.
Right.
And time being of the essence. Character creation is now, it's like they got rid of all the bonds and flaws and stuff. And spell casting is like pretty compact now, but you choose a class first, then your origin, which is your background, and your species. Those two now facilitate like all the other stuff that it used to be like, I have a background of a sage, I'm a scholar, I do these things. Now it's all kind of tied into one thing of why you get the ability bonuses that you get as a character. Ability scores is third, which is dope because we'll be doing that on stream for sure. And a clarification of starting equipment beyond first level. Other than that, like a lot of this stuff then gets very class specific. And to be fair, the Artificer is not in the new rules because that's part of the Eberron setting, and the new rules haven't made that setting yet. So what's fun, that means we get to play with it however we want.
Nice.
The basic rules are there from Eberron and Tasha's, but we can always, adjust and modify for cool techno witches and stuff like that.
Leaning towards.
I'm making you all techno things now. Techno witch, techno twins.
We're all techno.
Sometimes you're just feeling like a cyber devil.
Yeah.
But yeah, each of the classes, they've really expounded upon. There's like the weapon proficiencies and expertise system and stuff that's in there. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I think that'll factor a little bit more into character creation because I don't need you guys to know how stuff you might not even be using operates.
Yeah.
But we can just focus on the new things that adjust what you're used to. So that's kind of the bulk of them there. And then, like I said, there might be some somewhat silly things like, Brenna, you got to shoot 3 arrows at a thing to make a thing happen, or elements that kind of build out the like pop of the room beyond just the game itself. So, epic opportunities still apply. That you can use your thing to do a thing beyond your mechanical ability, and then we'll sort out how it goes. You know, it's an opportunity to be like, a lightning bolt strikes my blade and I attack. It's like, we both agree it's probably just going to be a normal attack. Maybe I'll throw you some lightning damage on top. You know, it's not going to be like 70d6. It might just be your normal attack. But it's a cool narrative opportunity.
Right.
And you guys know me. If you go super big and epic, I'm usually like, let's go.
Let's go.
And we're in a steampunk world, so we're going to get so epic.
Blood jetpack. Well.
Yeah.
It's a blood jetpack.
Coming to the stage, blood jetpack.
So that's basically as far as the kind of overview. Again, just to kind of calm any nerves, or just to explain like where it's still the same game, the same things. Mostly it'll just be a specificity of terminology that I'll do my best to be proficient in, so I can help bridge that gap. I'll also be going over all this stuff. To be fair, I haven't given a good rule read, just like gone over the review of it. But in all of that, does any of that seem daunting or questioning, or does it seem like a pretty manageable?
If anything, it sounds like it's more streamlined.
Yeah.
To kind of help facilitate gameplay and speed along the process.
Yeah. And then like silly elements. You guys are cool with silly elements.
I'll allow it.
Like whoever's like miniature can be covered in silly string the fastest wins some kind of thing. Or I just want like water. Ultimately, here's what I want. A bucket. That has like Nickelodeon like
Goo
over me. So it's like, I'm not even saying for you guys, but it's over there. And it's like somehow that can be activated in some way.
I love that.
It's like, and I don't want to like I don't want to be like, give us $50. I mean, maybe I do. Don't quote me. I gotta find out how much that shit costs. If it costs $60,
I'll tell you about how much it costs. It's fine. Yeah.
Do it for the bucket.
That's what I need. Things like that. I would only ever put my own Discover first, but I think it would be fun to be like, maybe for some things, there's just like a random element of a different way to acknowledge how we go about a certain task.
I love the idea of it being something that like has happened a couple of times in the stream, like just rolling a 20.
Yes.
And then it's just like refilling the bucket, and then you get redumped.
See, I'm liking all of this. Basically, that's our work between the next week. How do we get this bucket of goo to get spilled?
Yeah.
That's
Like some good scenes.
Yeah, we got good beans up there.
Solid structure, yes.
Solid structure.
That's a pretty good structure you got up there. That's pretty good. Yeah, we welded those. This place is dope. You guys should see it. You just see like the walls.
It's a nice wall.
But yeah, as far as I do dig does the vibe of Mad Max meets Indiana Jones feel like kind of a nice place to start considering these terms of characters?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's just cool to say. Can you imagine how cool it will be to play?
Yeah.
Diesel Dynasty.
Mad Max meets Indiana Jones. Like, let's go.
Mad Max.
We named the dog Mad Max. That's how I do it. I just take half from one and half from the other.
It's our animal. Look out.
Oh no. Maybe I'll just be an animal. That'll level the playing
Just
field.
to be an animal. Then he
I'm gonna
can't.
be an animal. I can't do
Then he can't do it.
You can't because I'm
Just
an
be a
animal.
horse detective named
Namuel?
Namuel.
Namuel.
Nah, Mule.
No.
Mule. It's Mule.
It is a bar track. All right, guys. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Cyber witches?
Cyber witches.
Cyber pitch.
Cyber
pitches. Witch pitch.
space punk sandwiches.
Yummy.
Delicious
Are we-
sandwich.
Are we rolling for C?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're rolling.
That's right.
We gotta roll for
We're gonna redo our order in the rooms. We are going to roll for
I
C.
don't like change.
Okay, so we're rolling.
What are we rolling?
D6s?
D20?
Or D20s?
Let me make the.
Oh, you got a number that.
Okay, we'll just call a 6 a crit, and then we'll smoke if we hit a 6. A D6
Okay.
is probably the best.
D6.
Okay, everybody roll at the same
Wait, what are
time.
the? Do we know the seat numbers? Have we assigned seat numbers?
Oh, yeah, good point.
Left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
Okay.
1.
Now, if you roll a 4, something weird happens.
Some weird. Some weird.
You have to
Six,
DM
wait,
the
6
campaign.
is just we smoke.
Yeah, 6 is
So-
we smoke.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. 1, 2,
Five?
3,
3,
4,
4, 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a 6 we smoke.
We won't do 3 on this side?
We could.
That's just what 3 is.
So we'll just
1, 2, 3.
Four.
yeah. 3 gets to
Five.
yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
Here we go. I'm just gonna smoke once because
I'm just gonna smoke no matter what.
5.
3.
3.
Oh,
3.
we got 3 threes.
We all share one seat.
okay. So let's smoke. We gotta smoke first.
Reroll.
All right. So Drew's gonna be 5.
So I'm back in my old seat?
You're at.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
I filled it with farts.
So many farts.
Drew, your seat 5. Now that
I rolled another
could.
6, so smoke
Yeah.
again.
No. Either way. There. Yeah. Even if yeah. All right. So our 3s all have to re-roll, and so does Brenna.
Okay.
We'll just-
I'm also got a 3.
Oh, now you're 3.
3 seat. It's a good seat.
So 3's still. 3's open.
It's prime real estate.
I got a 1.
I got a 6.
So smoke.
I got a 1.
I'm the same person.
What'd you get, Brenna? You got a 4?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brenna, you're 4.
You got a long ways to go.
It's happening! Oh no! 4 years!
You guys have to put,
You guys are gonna pinch each other all the time.
All the time.
I got a 3.
2. I don't move.
I don't move either.
3.
Oh
Okay,
no, our
we're
friends
up
have to
again.
re-roll.
It's
So
still
take the 2.
Myself comfortable.
This is so fun.
I got a 1.
2.
All right, Nicole's 1.
I'm 1.
So then that
Two's
just
taken.
leaves
That's
3.
just 3s, right?
Yeah.
So 3's left. Abby, you're 3.
3. So it's Jake and you and the redhead.
So it goes.
Yay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Taking the lead.
Yeah.
No.
You
She's
guys
gonna take
fight.
3. So
No,
I
I'm
got 1,
here.
you,
Yeah.
3. Abby.
Yeah.
So me,
That's,
you, Abby.
Fix my
my
hair.
butt all over it.
Yeah.
Abby will get to choose if she goes left or right each week.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
All the
I'm
redheads.
just gonna keep hitting everybody around me all the time. You guys shoving buddies.
Everybody's gonna get hit.
Yeah.
All right, we did it by roll. That's fair.
That was
That's
fun.
fair.
I
That
like
is
that.
awesome.
All right.
All right, and then we'll be making next week. We're gonna be making some characters, guys. We got us a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you heard about it. Maybe you haven't. We like to take a lighter. Like again, I'm sorry that it's this lighter. I'm not proud of it. Make sure you're
That's
not going to
just
light it to your
terrible.
friends, your family, or your cyber techno witches on fire. And go light us up.
Touch my last time.
Next week, we're gonna make some characters, baby. Hope to see you there. Mwah. We love you. Create something, love yourself, and play
With yourself.
with
Yeah.
play with yourself.
Player with yourself.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.